Question number 1. The three main primitive paradigms in TypeScript are string, number, boolean. So let's talk about string. What is string? String is representing textual data. Number representing numeric values including integers and floating point numbers. Boolean represents a logical values, true or false. Question number 2. What is an interface in TypeScript? An interface in TypeScript is a way to define the shape of an object. It specifies the structure that an object must adhere to, such as the properties it should have and their types. Interfaces help in enforcing type safety by ensuring that objects conform to a specific structure. Interfaces define the expected properties of an object along with their types. Suppose we have a object of with properties name, age, and address. So name type is string, age type is number, and address type is string. So and an object name is person. So how to define the types with interface? So we have to first of all we have to declare the key interface, then set the name of the types. We can use person as a name of the type and declare a object with the types. Suppose name, set the type string, age, set the type number, and address, set the type string. Properties in an interface can be marked as optional by appending a what operator to the property name. What keyword defined as optional? We can make properties read-only by using the read-only modifier, which prevent them from being changed after they are set. If we set to read-only after any of property, we can only read that property. We cannot modify the property. Question number 3. Type assertion. A type assertion in TypeScript is a way to tell the compiler to treat a value as specific types. It's a mechanism for overriding TypeScript inferred type when you, as the developer, know more about the values type than the compiler does. Type assertions are useful when you know that a value is of a certain type, but TypeScript type inference system cannot determine that on its own. They do not perform any runtime type checks or conversions. They are purely a compile time features that affect how TypeScript type check your code. Question number 4. How many access modifiers are there in TypeScript? In TypeScript, there are three access modifiers that control the visibility of class members. The three access modifiers are public, private, and protected. So, public modifier members marked as public are accessible from anywhere. This is default access level. In no modifier is specified. Private modifier. Private are accessible only within the class that define them. They cannot be accessed from outside the class or from derived classes. Protected modifier. Protected are accessible within the class that defines them and within derived subclasses. They are not accessible from outside the class. So if you set private modifier after any properties or method that can be accessible only within the class, if we say public, that can be accessible everywhere from everywhere. If we set protected modifier, it can be accessible within the class and derived classes. Question number 5. Getter and setter. What are getter and setter? Getters and setters in TypeScript are special methods that allow you to control access to the properties of a class. They provide a way to define how a property is retrieved and how it is modified. This approach can be useful for encapsulation, validation, or other logic that you want to execute when accessing or modifying a property. Getter. A getter is a method that allows you to define a custom way to access a property. It looks like a property when accessed, but under the hood it's a method. Setter. A setter is a method that allows you to define a custom way to modify a property. It's look like a property when assigned a value, but it's actually a method that can include logic like validation. Let's talk about why use getter and setters. Encapsulation. Getter and setters allows you to encapsulate the internal representation of a property. For instance, you might store a property in a different format internally, but expose it in another format via the getter. Setter can include validation logic to ensure that any value assigned to a property is valid. By providing only a getter and no setter, you can create read-only properties. Getter can be used to compute a property based on other values in the class.